Hey everybody, happy Monday. Today is the conference week, and so nobody's at the office, so I get to do my work at the lake. Yay, that's why I'm here. So I apologize if it's a little windy, but it's really nice outside, so how could I resist? Okay, so this weekend is the first weekend of the month. It's October 5th and 6th, which means mandatory meeting weekend. So we really need every single person to be at one of these meetings, whether that's the Saturday meeting at 3:30 or the Sunday meeting at 12:30 after the services. We need everybody to be there because there's a lot of important information that we need to go over, and it's Josue's first meeting with us, and so he's got some things he needs to say to all of us together. So please make it a priority to be there because this is mandatory. Okay, thank you. Also, because it's the first weekend of the month, we are going to be wearing our Gateway Kids t-shirts. So come in your Gateway Kids t-shirts, and also don't forget to get the group color props whenever you walk in. That way everybody is wearing their t-shirts and you're in your color at the same time. We can do both and it's gonna be great. So please don't forget to do that whenever you walk in, to put on those props, and don't forget to come in your t-shirts. Also, we are starting something new this weekend. This is really just for paid workers. Volunteers should already be doing this, but paid workers, we are going to start checking in at the check-in downstairs. So volunteers are already doing this, but for this weekend, all workers need to check in with somebody at the check-in. So we have to go to a manned check-in station and they will check us in, and you have to do this before each day, not before each service. So if you're serving on Saturday, just check in for the Saturday. If you're serving on both Saturday and Sunday, then you have to check in once on Saturday and once on Sunday. So you don't have to do it, like if you're working both services on Sunday, you only have to do it once on Sunday, but you have to do it before the services. So we're going to be starting that. So this weekend, everybody, paid worker, volunteers should already be doing this, but paid worker, you need to check in downstairs at the check-in before coming upstairs. So especially on Sunday, we need to be quick with this. So we have our 7:45 meeting. After the meeting, go downstairs, grab food really quick, and then go check in and still be upstairs by 8:15 so that we can start checking in kids if they're coming. Okay, so we have to do this pretty swiftly, so we won't have as much time to sit and talk and eat as we normally would on Sunday morning. So we'll have to grab our food, run downstairs, and then go back upstairs to the room. So for this weekend, you need to check in with a manned check-in, but then after this week, you can just check yourself in on one of the self-check-in kiosks. So we'll show you how to do that this weekend. I'm still not totally sure how to do it, so we can all do it together and figure it out at the same time. Cool? So just letting you guys know, don't let me forget, because this is new for me too. So this weekend, we are talking about wise words, and we have a little object lesson where you're gonna have a tube of toothpaste, and you're gonna have a kid empty the entire tube of toothpaste onto a paper plate. And then you're gonna say, okay, now I want you to see if you can put this toothpaste back into the tube. Here's a spoon, try to get that toothpaste back into the spoon. No, you can't do it? Well, that is the same with our words. Once our words have left our mouth, we can't put them back in. That's why it's so important that we have wisdom in what we say, that we choose wise words, because we can't put them back in. What we say is already out there. Same way with the toothpaste. You can't put it back in that tube. It's pretty much impossible. So with our words, it's important that we have wisdom in our words. And how do we get wisdom in our words? Well, let's see what the Bible says about it. And the verse that we're reading today is James 3:4-5. It says, "How about ships? They are very big. They are driven along by strong winds, but they are steered by a very small rudder. It makes them go where the captain wants to go. In the same way, the tongue is a small part of the person's body, but it talks big." So this verse, I kind of feel like it might be a little difficult for the kids to understand what this verse means just by saying it. So you might need to kind of go in depth a little bit about what this verse means, and then ask the kids, what do you think this means to you? So read the verse and then kind of summarizing it by saying, big ships are controlled by tiny rudders. Big ships are controlled by tiny rudders. The rudder tells the ship where to go. And in the same way, our big and powerful words are controlled by our tongue. And our tongue and our mind work together. And so what does that mean to you now? So you kind of have to summarize it a little bit. You can say that in your own words, make it so that a kid can understand, and then ask them, what do you guys think this means? How can we put this into our own lives? How can we use this? So that's kind of how you'll word that. Make sure you're reading the group discussion guide before the weekend, and that you're coming prepared, and that you know what we're talking about, and that you have your own kind of testimonies and things that you want to add to it that you've learned from this group discussion guide. Also, I'm going to be changing up the roles just a tiny bit on Planning Center. So if you're scheduled as a team leader, let's say you're the purple team leader, you're just going to be continuing what you've always been doing, leading the group, asking all the questions. You're the leader. If you're scheduled as a co-team leader, let's say the purple group, purple team co-lead, if you're the purple team co-lead, then you and the leader are both leading together. This is what the co-lead means. So you're leading it together, you're switching off questions, you're both leading the group at the same time. If you're scheduled as team support, say you were purple team support, then these people are going to be observing for the most part. So if you're the leader of that group, then you can ask the team support person to maybe ask 1 or 2 questions of the group. So be like, hey, can you ask this question? And they can ask it. But for the most part, the team support is going to be observing you and the kids and how they respond. Just because we have so many new people starting recently, and it's really amazing. But I'm trying to figure out a good way to make it so that they're not having to do so much when they're first starting. So there's going to be a leader, a co-lead, and a team support. So if you're the leader of the group, make sure you know what the roles are of the other people in your group, because you're going to be leading them too. I mean, co-leaders you're going to do it together. You don't really have to worry too much about that. But if you have a team support on your team, make sure you know that that person is a team support and they're observing you and they're trying to learn from what you're doing. Does that make sense? Nobody's answering because this is a video. Okay, I think that is all for this week. Remember, mandatory meeting, mandatory, be there, t-shirts, toothpaste. All right, I think that's all. Y'all have a great week. Bye.